Well, hello everybody. This is Daniel with Daniel's Bullion Coins. Exciting week. My sweet wife
Yes.
Ingrid is here,
Hi
and we have a
there,
lot to talk
everybody.
about.
Yes, so much happened.
Yes, I think the biggest thing is we had
I know.
6,000 views
We're
on our
just so
video,
tickled.
which is outrageous. We normally have 200 at the most. So to hit 6,000 and to have a bunch of new subscribers, we really appreciate it. Want to thank you,
Yes,
and
very
let's come
much.
along with the ride. And we'll
Thank
take some
y'all
of the
so
questions that
much.
came in off of those 6,000 views.
Yes. Okay. Well, one was they said they quoted Ezekiel 7 verse
Yes,
19, how they
yes,
said they would throw their silver and the gold in the streets.
yes, yes. That's a Bible verse, and it says they'll throw the gold and silver into the street, something like that. Well, the verse it says their silver and gold.
Hmm.
They will throw their silver and gold in the street. In other words, they've created an idol for themselves, and I
Right.
think of it as like investing for themselves rather than thinking of others.
Right.
There's a harvest, and there's doing things
Hmm.
as the Lord would have you do, and we all know those the beatitudes or whatever you want to call it, surrendering to the Lord and doing his will. That's what it's about, that you can help others. It's not
Right.
about getting it for yourself and creating an idol. You think of the golden cow and
Yeah.
all these things that we've heard the Bible stories. Now here we are, their gold and
And it
silver.
was also in the context of their rebellion. They were supposed to be
Yes,
repenting and turning back to the Lord.
yes, yes. So people take that verse
And
completely out of
yeah, it
context.
was. It
So
was.
that's
Anyway.
good. Good question.
Okay, so
Good
we've
comment.
got $1,000 up this
Oh
year.
my gosh, yeah. So
Wow.
since the 1st of January, we hit 3,600 intraday this
On
week
gold, yeah.
on gold,
Yeah.
and that's $1,000
That's
this year so far.
amazing.
So we're 8 months into this year, 9 months
9
in,
months, yeah.
and we've already hit $1,000, and we have momentum to go so much higher,
Yeah.
so much higher.
Well, yeah, and because of the everything that was going on this week. Well, I guess that'll come. We want to talk about that
We'll
later.
do the review at the end. Okay.
Okay, of what all with the reports that came out and stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of reports, a lot of things, technicals. I tell you, one of the things that I
Yeah.
noticed this week that was interesting, that gives me the thought that more momentum is coming for gold and silver, because it's very hard to read right now. We
Yeah.
need another week or so. But one of the things that shows me momentum is the fact that the dollar actually closed up this week. So typically, the dollar's been going down on a weekly basis,
Yeah.
and that's been driving gold up. Well, the dollar actually closed slightly higher this week, but yet we had huge momentum in gold. I wish I knew the number. 200 up this week, $200 up this week.
Yeah.
It was quite a bit. It was quite a huge move. And
Quite.
silver broke 41.50 intraday.
So
So
why do you think they'll go higher? Silver.
well, yes, that's a really good question that
Yeah.
people ask, and I like to have the really really short,
Yeah.
quick answer, and it's the ratio. Look at the ratio, because one person goes out and pans gold down by the river, another person digs silver out of the ground, and that ratio coming out of the ground, out of the river, is 10 to 1. Now, when it gets to the coin shop, it's been made into a coin and it's being used as currency. It's 15 to 1 because of the production of the silver, the labor that goes into getting it to the coin shop. Well, that ratio, whether you look at the 10 to 1 at the mine or 15 to 1 in circulation, is always going to come back when the fiat currency fails. We've got 6,000 years of history to look at and thousands of examples of fiat currencies when they fail. And this currency failure is long in the tooth. It's the longest example of all of those thousands of examples. The dollar is the longest running. So the ratio is what we can say that silver is going to be hitting triple digits. People say triple digit silver, they just can't fathom it. But if
Right.
we're at 3,600, 3,600 in gold, then 10 to 1 at the mine, we should be $360
Mm.
for silver. So is silver going to run? Of course it is. Just look at the ratio. Just look at the history. And that's not even getting into all the other things. We're just taking that one quick example to point out,
Yeah.
as
Wow.
as a way to say, okay, here we go. Silver's going to run. And I've been saying $50 by the end of this year, and then I took a wild call and said maybe 80. But I'm thinking March of next year it'll be 80. That's double from where it's at right now.
Mm.
So we're looking at it doubling from here, and we're still looking at triple digit silver. We're still forecasting 4,000 by the end of this year for gold.
Or even before. Yeah, like you said
Could
before.
easily, right. And that's giving myself room because
Right.
I'm also giving the wild forecast of 4,500 by the end of the year. But I'm thinking March, I'll probably make that a commitment prediction, 4,500. But it could possibly happen by January.
Do you think the market will crash? There were things going
Oh, yes,
on,
yes. People asked about that.
yeah, this week particularly.
Yes. Well, the thing about the market is what feeds and gives the market its life support, and it's the bond market. So
Yes.
if you want to know what is the market doing and when is the time to get out, just look at the bond market. And that's the gilt market is the UK uses the gilt market, and Japan uses the JGB market. And those two are kind of flashing yellow. They're starting to climb, they're starting to accelerate. And what that means is we have the bond vigilantes are starting to require a higher yield, driving the price down and the yield higher. So keep an eye on the bond market. That'll tell you when it's time to get out of the market. And I'm going to interject here and say, when is it time to sell your gold and silver?
Yeah.
Think about you may want to make your own decision. We're just giving our
Right.
opinion. But it's when the Dow actually sells off to the point where it lines up with gold, when they come and they equal. They almost equaled in '08. The Dow came down to 6,000, gold came up to 2,000. If they had met at 4,000, we would have found fair value.
Fair value.
We're looking for fair value. We didn't get there
Mhm.
because they interjected and started quantitative easing and printing money, and they inflated the market with a false sense of prosperity, taking money out of the future, bringing it to the present, and everybody just kept on enjoying the buffets
Right.
and going on with life. But we need to come back to fair value, and we may actually surpass that, where gold and silver go above and beyond the Dow,
Right.
because the experiment has gotten so far out of control and out of hand.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for fair value. That'll be your time to sell.
That's the time. Wow. So
Good questions.
yeah, so looking at the week in review, I mean, we
Yeah.
know what happened here, but also reports came out.
Yeah.
The jobs report
Oh, the
was
jobs
negative.
report
The,
was
the
really bad.
CPI,
Yes.
all of these, and that probably what helped shot up
Yes. Yes.
gold yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of people are looking at September because you've got this continuing resolution. The government may shut down. Fears coming again. You've got the jobs report, which was I think like
It was
20,000 new
terrible.
jobs. That's a horrible number. Horrible number.
Terrible.
Especially when they also said that people were losing their job and getting 2 more jobs.
Right. They were
So you
losing their
would think
full-time job and getting 2
part-time
part-time
jobs,
jobs.
and they count those
So it's,
part-time jobs as 2 people being,
it's awful.
so actually as 2
Yeah.
people, but it's really
Yeah.
1 person getting 2
Yeah.
jobs. So, and yet the number was only 20,000. So it's a really anomaly there that the jobs market numbers and the CPI inflationary numbers, and of course shadow stat numbers are actually climbing.
What are shadow
Shadow
stats?
stats are the really true inflationary numbers. It's a private company that I think his name is John, and he does the actual inflation.
Hmm.
And he's showing that it has doubled in the last 10 years. The price of goods has doubled, and the rate of inflation is about 12%. And he's showing that that rate of inflation is actually climbing. So private company doing the real numbers on inflation are showing
Wow.
that inflation is increasing.
Wow. So what did you see in the shop here this week?
Yes, now that's going to be the thing that you're going to want to really tune in for, because we've got our finger on the pulse of
Mhm.
buyers and sellers type thing. And we did have buyers come in
Mhm.
this week. Thursday and Friday, we started seeing the buyers come in, and
Mhm.
we've got a lot of people planning on coming in this weekend. So we're looking forward to trying to get a better read on it next week. But it looks like the buyers are continuing to come in. Where in July we had sellers. Boy, the price of silver
Yeah.
hit 39 and gold hit 3,400, and the sellers came out in force. I think we've cleared those people out, and I think that's why we're going to see 50 in silver, and I don't know where it's going to peak out at. You know, we're going to hit a high number, 3,800, maybe 50 in silver, and then we're going to have our pause again. And so we'll have to see how much that is. We need another week to be able to give you our forecast. Unfortunately,
our
it's
personal
really hard to
forecast.
call right now, but I can tell you that the sellers are coming. The buyers are coming in. We have not really seen the sellers yet, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Give us another week of that, and we'll have a better feel on whether it's going to continue to climb. From a retail perspective, and I've said before, I really don't think the retailers control the pricing, but it's fun to look at that as one of the indicators to tell us whether it's going higher.
Yes, we're looking at the price determined by like the big movers, the governments who
Right.
are buying. I read something how the government couldn't get gold or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a
Well,
headline. I
the
didn't read it.
insiders know something.
They do.
That's what's telling you.
Yeah.
We know that the insiders know something because they're the ones driving the price higher.
Right. They're the ones
We don't know
buying
what
it.
it is that they know.
Yeah.
And we'll know by the end of the month, 30 days from now, what it is that they know or what they see that's coming, because they're the ones driving. They're like buying at all costs. Whatever it is, just continue to ship it and deliver it. We'll take it.
The
Somebody,
banks are, the
They've
governments
exceeded-
are. Yeah.
they've exceeded their gold holdings compared to the dollar. So the gold holdings surpassed dollar holdings this week.
Wow.
So they're selling their dollars and getting gold, and they're dumping. I mean, they're dumping paper, and they realize. And what's happening is it's like people start running for the door. Oh, there's a fire in the movie theater and people start to run for the door. Well, more and more people are starting to run, and they're starting to see that, hey, other people are running and nobody has screamed fire yet, but they smell
People are
smoke
running,
and
yeah.
they're starting to run. Right.
People
That's
are-
definitely what's
something's
happening.
happening.
I would say
Yeah.
that's a good wrap up for this week in review.
Yeah.
That people are starting to run. Nobody's yelling fire yet.
They
but
smell
They
smoke,
smell smoke.
and they see other people starting to
They
edge
see other
toward the
people
door.
starting to edge toward exactly.
The exit.
That's a-
Maybe I better get close.
Yes.
I want that seat down there. That's real close to the door.
I'm going to get a seat a little closer to the exit.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think's what we're seeing this week.
Mhm.
And it's going to be interesting to see if that accelerates next week. Great video.
I know.
Hope y'all enjoyed
Blessings,
it.
everybody.
Bless everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.